Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the Morning. 15 minutes to change our lives. Good to Gimel, Pashas Tetzaveh. Finish off this Sikha. This whole letter is the whole Sikha. So we did the whole thing. I think this is first time. Something just want to share an idea. It's important to understand when you learn Chassidus. You know, and you probably could apply this in other places as well. But I'm just saying we see this very clearly in Chassidus, that there's two aspects to what you're learning. There's the details, and then there's the message. The details, the message is what the Rebbe is trying to give over. He's trying to teach us the message. Let's say there's a famous Maimer of Kibbutz Yehudim. The Rebbe said on Purim. So the message, it's not a short Maimer. It's a good 10 bases. So it's relatively a long Maimer, but there's a underlying theme. One theme is that Hashem chooses Yid even on the deepest of places. And that comes out in Ois Ches. The whole beginning and that whole section until Ois Ches, he's all explaining very deep concepts. And there's two aspects. One is you gotta figure out, you gotta learn what is the Rebbe what's the message he's trying to give over here? What are you trying to teach us? What am I meant to be learning from here? How is this meant to be? What am I meant to receive from this message? That's one point, and that's sort of a very important point. But in a certain sense, not as equally as important, but equally as important is to understand all those details. Because without those details, it's like a black and white photo versus a colored photo. All those details are there to help bring out this point. It's like when you learn a sikha, especially in Likkutei Sichos, in the later, not the earlier ones as much, but in the later ones, they have the whole shak of a question and answer, and you go back and forth, and the Rebbe teaches all these different ideas. You could just go from the question and to the answer in the back, and you miss out of the middle part. But the middle part wouldn't make it as rich. It'd be very dry and bland, not rich. So to here, when we're learning, it's this balance we have to have, that we have to learn. We're trying to understand the idea, the message. But in order to appreciate the message, like in this sikha, essentially the Rebbe is talking, he's bringing it off based on some Mishnah about a mizbeach and becoming tahor and tamei and kabatum and things like this. But if we just say, why do I have to talk about the mizbeach? Let me just learn the varts. You wouldn't get it. It wouldn't be as rich. They go together, and the Rebbe is trying to show you that the Rebbe didn't make up an idea and let me find this idea in Torah. The Rebbe is saying this is what Torah is telling us. It's a little bit of a side point, but I think it's a very important thing to understand. When we learn something, we have to ask ourselves, did I get the message? What was the message being brought? And once I have the message, so then I can look at all those details and appreciate the richness of it. Because those details by themselves are not rich. They're just random. And that's why a lot of people, when they complain, they say they don't understand Chassidus. So Chassidus, is talking about very lofty ideas. It's because they didn't get the message. The lofty ideas is helping you appreciate the message. To appreciate that God chooses us, in that case of the Maimer of Kibbutz Yehudim, and to appreciate that Hashem, it's Al-Kain actually, to appreciate that idea that Hashem chooses a Yid from the highest of levels, what does that mean? You have to learn all those details to understand what does that mean as the highest of levels, to really appreciate him. But if you don't understand that what we're trying to appreciate is that Hashem chooses us, and we're just trying to learn these high levels, you get lost. What's this high level? What's the difference in I remember when I was in yeshiva, it's like, what do I care about Atzilus? What's Atzilus going to do with me? And it becomes very meaningless because I missed the point. I didn't get the b'chein of the sikha. What is the Rebbe trying to teach me? And in order to appreciate that, I need to understand all these things. I think it's a very important point. Anyway, to continue on and finish off the sikha. So we're talking about the mizbeach, and that ultimately we're all good people. We have a mizbeach. A mizbeach is not makabel tumah. But there's two different opinions. There's Chachamim and Rabbi Lezer. And we asked it, we said Rabbi Lezer, and Rabbi Lezer explains the reason why it doesn't makabel tumah. This is bringing down from the Mishnah. We're understanding the Mishnah on the Chassidish level. The reason why it's not makabel tumah is because it's k'may karka. It's considered like the ground, and the ground doesn't makabel tumah. So to this doesn't makabel tumah. So what does it mean on a deeper level? What does it mean that it's like the ground? It means bittul. Like we say from my soul to dust, it should be to all that we have a bittul. And like we realized when Hercules is nur, and he was a big Talmid Chacham, but he's very humble. And what we're saying is the idea that we should be that through being humble, we'll always have, we're not makabel tumah, then the pintla yid, the nefesh l'kis will be brought out and be clear. We won't have anything covering it and making issues with it. That was Rabbi Eliezer. And the Chachamim say, hey, Tzavim, they hold. He kitchenis midai lagabi akol ve'ein kul michayin lechas bas. They say this is a little bit too intense, too much. Not everyone can hold this way. They think about also the chitzenis of the person. Meaning like this. You can look at it like this. And this is also when you learn this, you understand this, you appreciate this, you see the depth of how the Rebbe looks at a Mishnah. The Rebbe is saying, how do we look at Rabbi Eliezer and the Chachamim? Rabbi Eliezer, look at him, he's a very deep person. And he was a person who was very pneumius, and therefore he had this bittul, and he taught this bittul to his students. And the way he did everything was in this level of bittul. So therefore he's saying, you butter, who? And I'm a nothing. Not that I'm nothing, I'm a nobody in a negative, but I'm nothing else but Hashem. But the Chachamim say, 1 second, like this is too extreme. Not everyone is like this. So the Chachamim hold that this is too much for everyone. So what do they say? They said, therefore the Chachamim think about the eternity of a person, meaning more external levels of us. That I'm not honestly going to say that my whole thoughts are just what Hashem wants. So how do they deal with it? So how do they say, but Im Kol Zeh, they say it's not makabel tumah. So how do you stop yourself from being makabel tumah, even if you're not on such a high level? So there's times that a person he's chas v'shalom in nichshal, he falls. We fall and we do the wrong thing. And the Rebbe says, very interesting, he says, and it's more specifically found on the golden mizbeach. Because remember, we talked about it before, there's the golden mizbeach and the cheshes, the copper one, which synonymizes with the golden mizbeach is the rich people and the aniyim people, the mizbeach, the cheshes. And that's kappa, that's the aniyim. So the Rebbe says this issue that we're talking about now is more connected with people that are rich, have more money. Isim Tufais Binyanim Shal Zahav Shabazahav Ad Shmivim Oise Lefisha Loy Lakayim. Basically, it's simple. Happens the money blinds us, and then it gets us to do things and mistakes we shouldn't be doing. But so too, this also can apply to poor people or people less rich. Because when they get some money, it comes with a lot of effort. So therefore, that can also, because they get affected, but you finally make some money and put all that effort, so they forget about Hashem. Nevertheless, the Chachamim says, even though that happens, even we do averos, we make mistakes, we do the wrong thing, we don't makabel tumah. That's what the Chachamim said. Mipnei shehein mitzufim, because they are coded. Just a quick story. I have a friend that, unfortunately, he got into some hard times financially. He told me at one point, like, it was like the bottom of the pit. His bank account was on empty, and he struggled. And Baruch Hashem, he thinks of, and he said he was so bad that he couldn't sleep. He had a hard time sleeping. He'd wake up like 5 a.m, just couldn't sleep anymore. And his body was killing him. And it was like rough. And he said, the only way he got out of it was learning Shiur bitachon. Someone gave him a Shiur bitachon. It's a long story. It's actually a crazy story. Someone gave him a Shiur bitachon, the new one from Kahas. And he said, for the time that he read it, the Shiur bitachon, it like relaxed him. When he put the book down, I went back to his issues. And he ended off, Crazy story. He ended up getting a job with the people that sponsored the Shiur bitachon. Now he has a job and he's working, it's fine, money. But now, so I asked him after he got his job, and he's doing much better. Baruch Hashem. They asked him about it. I said, "What's like? How's it going?" So he said, "It's like a hard balance because now you have all the money, so you sort of forget about Hashem. So it's like this unfortunate balance you have to figure out." And this is what they were saying. But nevertheless, even though you have this hard balance and Chas v'Shalom, you forget about Hashem and you start doing Geveris again, or whatever it is. Nevertheless, you don't get, it's not Makabel Tumah. Why? Because Gam Hazav Shel Ashir v'Gam HaNecheshes Shel Ani, the gold and the copper that the poor and the rich person have, Einam Ela Kisei Mizbeach. They're only covered in Mizbeach. But inside you're pure. And this is such a beautiful verse. The reason why the Mizbeach doesn't need to be toivel, but it's not makabel tumah, it's because that the code in Konta Chamim is only external. The averes that we do is not who we really are. It's only external to us. All this, and when we look at ourselves and we see all these things that we do that are not so good, we have to remind ourselves, this is not who I really am. This is external to me. The atzmisa shel hapnimius he kol kach, and the essence of the pnimius of the mizbeach of ourselves is so much. Ad shesof kol sof batul hatzivbui el hapnimius. The gold is batul. Now you look at the gold, you say, "Hey, what do you mean? That makes it look so beautiful." Without the gold, it looks chunky. It doesn't look special. Gold is everything. But nevertheless, the Chacham say the gold is only external. With us, we look at ourselves and we look at how many averes we do and how many things we're doing we're doing the wrong thing. That's not who we really are. That's only external. That's a secondary. It's external to us. It's not who we really are. In the end of the day, for sure we will return. For sure we will recognize that I shouldn't be doing these things. And especially when we do this and we think to ourselves, see, this, me doing these things, why am I doing these things? I'm Mizbeach Hazav. I'm good. I can't makabel tumah. So I shouldn't be doing this. V'yagia el ha'emes, when we reach the truth, shechaye ha'yehudi v'kiyumo ye'enam el l'kus, that the life of a Jew and the existence of a Yid is only godliness. V'aderech aleh hi b'limun ha'torah v'kiyum mitzvahs, and the way to it by fulfilling Torah mitzvahs. V'heim gam ha'kelim l'birchas, and this is also not just. This helps us serve Hashem properly and have peace of mind, realizing who we really are and behaving like the mention we really are meant to be. But even more, this is a vessel. This helps us with the bracha of Gashmius. Hashem promised us in the Torah. That this doesn't just help us ruchnis. We feel whole and mentioned, like normal, versus always being in this situation of like, I do the wrong thing, I feel bad about it, I'm not good. Thinking of ourselves without this information, without thinking of ourselves in this way, and we look at ourselves chas v'shalom in the negative, that we're bad people, some do good things, we're not a mizbeach hazav, that we can't makabel tumah. If we look at ourselves that we can makabel tumah, and we are makabel tumah, and we're tamei, it's so difficult to live life properly. And we could be living it this way, we don't even realize. But when you manage to get yourself out of it through learning a lot of chassidus and internalizing it and realizing and really internalizing this message that I can't makabel tumah, I'm good, I just sometimes do bad things, could be even totally covered with gold, but that's not who I really am. That's why I can't makabel tumah. Recognizing that, you free yourself, and then you come to Torah mitzvahs, and not just you get Torah mitzvahs, also you get to help the Gashmis. Like it says in Torah, if you go with my chukim, and you guard my mitzvahs, when asati ha'aretz yivula, and the land will give its produce, the eight asada yitin period, and the fruits of the tree will give its fruit. So we'll have everything we need. Begashis beruchnis. This is such a beautiful vart and such a beautiful message, and I think the Rebbe is telling to those people back then in 1951, and it was 1950 still, 1950. The Rebbe wasn't even Rebbe yet, this letter. And we now, whatever many years later, 70 plus years, are hearing this, and it's relevant as it was sent, if not more. We have to realize, and recognize, we have to tell ourselves, we wake up in the morning, I'm Einer Mekabel Tumah. I can't Mekabel Tumah. I'm good. I'm wholesome. I have a nefesh kiss, and I'm good. And I just need to tap into that. Everyone should have atzlacha in applying this, and we should have an amazing day.